right in the kisser.
Hey, how the devil are you? Do you know what? I'm a bit sweaty today. It's been 32 degrees today in the UK with a humidity of over 70%. So, been a sticky and sweaty day. But nevertheless, I don't care because I'm having a great run at the moment with speakers. I love a speaker review. I do love a speaker review. Last week I reviewed the Acoustic Energy AE300s Mark II, cracking little bookshelf. And now this week, look what I got. This is the new Evo 5.2 from the new 5 series, upgrading from the 4 series. Oh, let's take it off so you can see it in all its beauty and all its glory. What a stunner, eh? Have a look at that. It's a very, very good looking speaker. Now, I'm very used to soft dome tweeters. It's my first experience with AMT tweeters. And like I said about the speakers acclimating to your room, I think your ears need to acclimate to AMT tweeters, especially if you listen to aluminium tweeters or soft dome tweeters. They're a very different sound, but in a good way, which I'll explain more through the video. Now, what are the differences between these, the 5 series and the 4 series? Well, rather than tell you, I've created some slides, okay? Don't worry, it's not going to be a boring PowerPoint presentation you see in a conference. Well, I hope not anyway. But I've put together these slides to just show you the differences and we'll talk through it. So let's have a look at that now. So here is my PowerPoint presentation. Don't worry, we're not going to show you any graphs or anything going up in the second quarter. None of that nonsense, okay? So let's have a look at the size of the speakers first. So the 4s will be on the left and the 5.2s will be on the right. So you can see that we're a little bit wider by 10 millimeters and 10 millimeters deeper. That's probably around about half an inch, I think. And about 40 centimeters taller, which is about 1.5 inches, give or take. So quite a bit taller and a little bit bigger width-wise and depth-wise. So quite a substantial change in the enclosure size. Oh, you can see that they've changed the speaker binding posts from bi-wireable to single. I prefer this personally. I think it looks nicer and neater than that, but it's a personal preference, isn't it? So let's have a look at the drivers. So the bass drivers, I think they've kept them the same. 6.5 inch, 165mm black woven Kevlars. There and there. I think the mid-range are the same drivers, I believe. 2-inch 50mm soft domes. And this is where the big change is in the AMT tweeter. So it's a little bit wider by 5mm and 10mm taller. So this is going to help with the dispersion. And you can see they've changed the waveguide a little bit around each one. So let's have a look at the specs. Sensitivity, 87 versus 88. So a little bit more sensitive with the 5.2s. Amplifier power is the same, 25 to 120. SPL is the same, 105, 105. Nominal impedance on the 4s on the specs online says 8 ohm compatible. Whereas on the 5s it said nominal impedance 4 ohm, 8 ohm compatible. I don't know if that's the same. Potentially it is, potentially it isn't. But the minimum impedance is 4 ohm on the 4.2s and 3.2 on the 5.2. So they go a little bit lower. Now here's the big change. So look at the frequency response, 54 Hz to 22 kHz versus 44 Hz to 24 kHz. So a bit of an improvement in the treble. But look at that difference in bass response, 10 Hz difference. And the bass extension at minus 6 dB is 38 Hz versus 48 Hz. 10 Hz is quite a substantial change in the bass response. And the net weight, so the 5s are 1.5 kilograms heavier, obviously due to the bigger enclosure. They've added an extra port, so the 4.2s had a 2-way slot-loaded profile port. And the 5.2s have a 3-way slot-loaded profile port. One on the back, one on the side, one on the side. Whereas the 4s had them on just each side and then at the back. And this should optimize the airflow distribution. So it should contribute to a bit of a deeper, more articulate bass. And then they've upgraded the crossover. So I found this online. It doesn't give the name of the components on there, but it looks like they put it across 2 boards instead of 1. So the 4s had a 1 board and the 5.2s have 2 boards. I don't think it makes much of a difference having it across 2 boards. Maybe it can help with interference. I don't know. But apparently they've upgraded the components on there, which should improve the sound quality. And then you got the colours. So you got black, white. There's a walnut. The walnut, I think the veneer's changed a little bit from the 4s. It's less shiny, it's more of a, it's still shiny, but it's more matte than the 4s. And then they got this beautiful grey colour. That's the ones I've been sent, so I'm glad of that. They're a lovely looking thing. I think my favourites would be the walnut and the grey, but again, it's down to a personal choice. So, there you go. Some quite substantial changes made. Now, they also come with optional speaker stands, but they are a little bit pricey. 450 quid for the pair. They do look lovely, the stands. They look well made, and I haven't got any here. They look great, and they match the speakers really well. So it would be nice to get them, but £450, a bit steep. But don't panic though, because I'm using them on my speaker stands here. As long as your top plate is big enough to hold them, you should be fine. I've got them on mine. There's a little bit of an overhang. You can see the picture here. I'll put it on the screen now. There's a little bit of an overhang, but they feel pretty secure. They're not going anywhere. So you can use your own speaker stands as long as they're big enough on the top. Okay, so you should be fine. Right, the ultimate question though, how do they sound? Well, right off the bat, I can tell you, they're really good. Let's talk about that bass. Wow, okay. They dig deep, they really do. In a small to medium room, in my room especially, I didn't feel like I needed a subwoofer for music. I did use them for some movies, and I found the bass extension was fine, but if you want like really deep bass, you probably would need a subwoofer for that. But for audio, for music, sorry, I think you'll be fine without a sub, unless you've got a huge room, then maybe you will need one. The mid-range is very smooth, very rich, really nicely presented, okay? And then we come to that AMT tweeter. Now, with the AMT tweeter, it is a little bit laid back, okay? So compared to the Lintons, for instance, they're a bit more forward. However, they're a little bit confusing to me anyway, because even though they're more laid back than the Lintons in the top end, okay, they're not rolled off, and they still maintain all the detail. It's very confusing. So you've got to give these a chance. You do have to sit down and give them a good listen to. Let your ears, like I said, acclimate to the sound, because they're quite different to a soft dome tweeter. But this is what I don't get. They still maintain all the detail. There's no detail loss at all. So, which is odd. So I did listen to these for over a week now. I've listened to loads of tracks, but I've picked out 3 ones which might be of interest. So the first one is the Rolling Stones' Sympathy for the Devil. Now there's a lot going on in that song. You've got drums, you've got a lot of percussion going on, lead guitar, bass guitar, congas, which is like these like tall bongos, I suppose they are. You've got maracas, and you've got a shakir. Now, not Shakira, okay? You got it like a shakir, which is like a rattle, but the beads are on the outside. I think that's what they are, okay? So there's a lot going on. And what I like about some old tracks from that era is that, you know, stereo hadn't been in that long, so they loved experimenting with stereo. And so you'd have one instrument over there and one instrument over there, you know what I mean? Like, you have the drums over there, the guitar over there, the maracas over there. and I'd separate it all out. Now modern music just goes, blah, have that. So it's really good. So it's good to test the detail retrieval and the stereo imaging, because you've got a lot of stuff going on from either speaker. And I could pick out every single instrument like that easily. And the stereo imaging, the stereo separation was really good. Bam, bam, but really good. I will say, compared to the Lintons, these are more directional. So I had these slightly toned in. Lintons you can have facing straight out. The 5.2s, I think you should have them slightly toned in towards the listening position. I found that was better for me than having them facing directly out toward me. The second track I listened to was Careless Memories by Duran Duran. Now I chose that track because it's got a thumping, pounding bass. Dun, 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 boom, 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 boom. Really gets you here. And through these, oh, stunning. Like really pounding, right, gets you right in the chest. I can't hit my chest because my mic's right there. I want to go like Tarzan. Anyway, really pounding bass, really come through, really clean, articulate, punchy, just good. And about 2 minutes into that song, I think it's a snare drum. I could be wrong. I think it's a snare drum he's using. And about 2 minutes into that song, it goes dun 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 dun, bum, 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 across the speakers, dun 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 dun, 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 dun. I think it's a snare drum. It could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. Clear as day, and you can hear it going from one speaker to the other perfectly. Really, really good. Last track I want to mention is Don't Give Up by Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush. And the reason for that is it's good to test male and female vocals to see how they come through. No problem at all. Peter Gabriel's gravelly, soul-y voice came through lovely. And Kate Bush's voice can be sometimes, if you're using it for the wrong equipment or wrong speaker, it can be a bit like, whoa, hang on, Kate. Not through these, came through lovely. Really, really nice. And again, about 3/4 of the way through the song, toward the end of the song, there's a deep bass guitar comes in. Dum 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 dum. Ah, you hear every pluck, every string through these. Fantastic, sounded great. Now I have done a sound test comparing them to the Lintons, but I want to try and steer away from using YouTube Music Library. It's handy, the music library, but it's not the best quality of sound. So I'm going to use copyrighted material. So I'm going to try and do separate videos, so you get a better quality of track rather than using YouTube library. So I have done a test between these two. You can see that I'll put a link up here and in the description box below. So what's my conclusion? These are very good speakers. These are the type of speakers you can sit back and relax and enjoy for hours. Just really, really nice presentation from these speakers. Like I said, they are more laid back, so you might have to get used to that difference in sound with the AM2 tweeter if you're not used to an AMT. You can almost use the tone control. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, I know some audiophile snobs will be shouting at the screen now, sacrilege.
Look, I was listening to a bit of ABBA and all I said to my wife was, that piece of music could do with a 1 dB increase in the treble.
Blasphemy! There's nothing wrong with using a tone control. Shut your face. To be fair though, I didn't feel the need to use any tone controls. I used my amp on Pure Direct, so there you go. But absolutely great speakers. Thoroughly recommend them. Definitely gave my UTV stamp of approval. Go ahead and watch that sound test. Again, links in the description below. And I'll catch you in the next one.